in a little bit on some specifics. So I'm going to pick on you first, Mosey, because you mentioned it a little bit about the programming difference. So let's talk about the programming time. A Crestron Classic system versus a Crestron Home system of comparable size. What's your deployment time now with Crestron Home versus what it was previously?
Yeah, so I just rolled out a project this week, and I'll talk about that one. It's the freshest in my memory, and it was such a pleasure. We rolled out a system that's 4 video zones, 5 audio zones. There's 50 or 60 lighting zones, 5, 6 thermostats, a few shades, and it would normally take me a few days to program that, to then work through the bugs and make sure the client's happy, and then come back and fix the bugs. As we were rolling out this system this week, as the TVs went up, they were working minutes later. Everything was, we were testing and had functionality just minutes after everything went up. So altogether, it took a couple hours to program this entire system, but it was happening live. There was no compiling, there was no programming, there was no uploading. Any changes we need to make were instantaneous. So it's a series of minutes that add up into a series of hours, and that's it, we're done. But you feel those programming changes happening live in those minutes.
So now, Joe, you said you were the programmer for your company.
Yes.
So it's not like you had to eliminate a high-paid programming position, unless you're going to eliminate your own job at some point. But
Hope not.
Tell us about that difference for you. What have you seen?
So my crew has been with me a long time. They're very loyal. I have a very good crew, a solid crew, and they've always watched me do the programming. And when we had a troubleshoot, they would run downstairs, check connections. We'd always do everything together. But I was always doing the programming side. As we evolved into Crestron Ping and then into Crestron Home, we've more so given the other installers the ability to do this programming. They've learned it, they've known it, they could roll out an entire system now, where I used to spend a week or two at a particular project. I may not even go there until the end, because I know that my 2 installers could do all the programming on their own. And if they run into a problem, I could connect remotely, I could use the iOS app, so if I'm even mobile, I could do it from an iPad, or I could do it from a computer, and I could show them what they need to do, and I don't even have to be on the job site. So it's a tremendous tool for me, because it's basically taken my ability, like Mosey said before, I could concentrate on other things within the business and let my installers be installers and programmers.
It sounds like even a more amazing byproduct in that you're allowing your installers, your technicians, to grow from a career standpoint, because they're adding this increased level of responsibility by being able to deploy the system on their own without relying on you.
Well, it's an incredible value, because now when there's a problem, any of us could go there to take care of the problem. It's not only me. So it allows a company of my size to have more serviceability to our clients. They love it, but I want to put it in their homes. I give it to them so they could experience it in their homes, and the more they play with it, the more it makes them want to do more programming for the clients. Look what we could do here, look what we could do there. The clients get excited, they're excited, everybody's happy.
Todd, what about on your end from a programming difference?
I remember the days just sitting there getting frustrated waiting for the programmer just to load a simple Apple TV code, that we would sit there for about 3 or 4 hours. And then here's the thing, you can never predict how many hours are going to be utilized in a day and how much loss on our end we have, because they're sitting behind the computer at home doing what they need to do. We're on the customer site waiting for this to be loaded. So for me, frustration levels have decreased. If I'm less frustrated, then everybody else is less frustrated around me. That's number one. So that's went down. Number two, when we're doing jobs, the customer's seeing things being put into action quickly, which makes them more excited. It makes them more willing to invest more into their product. Saying for a job, we had a couple of weeks ago, we had a job right before the holidays. I would never take on new jobs before the holidays, because I wouldn't want the customer to live through the bugs. If it happens, it's frustrating, it's disappointing for me, and I don't want to hand over to the customer that kind of experience. We had multiple projects this year, which we never did in December, close out within days. Large projects that would have took us probably till February to finish, just on programming times and setup times and all the compiling. In, out, got paid, customers are extremely happy, stories are being told, and referrals are coming in. That's all because of the not limitations, it's all because of the amount of time that's not being invested in their homes. They love us, but they don't want us to live with us.
It's absolutely true. I think that clients get sick of seeing you for a few weeks, that you're living in their home to get the system up and running. A few years ago, I rolled out a system that was DM and Swamp and so many zones, and I really was in their house for almost 2 weeks getting everything nailed in, dialed in, and recently we upgraded them to Crestron Home. We pulled out their old processor, put in a new processor, and I finished the entire system. I reprogrammed it from scratch in 1 day. So from 2 weeks to 1 day, nothing to dial in, it just worked.
Let's talk about perception. What does the customer think at that point, right? If all that time you're investing there, they're getting fearful. They're like, oh, maybe I didn't hire the right guy. Why is this taking this long? Because in their mind, it's not that complicated. I just want to get an Apple TV put online. I just want to get it in my system. How hard can that be? Guys, how hard can that be? It shouldn't be hard. With Crestron Home, they get a new Apple TV, you could get in and out of the customer's house within 5 minutes and get paid for the hour. So you're increasing revenue right there. You're also keeping everybody not frustrated. You're also keeping the customer's pockets a little bit
And like you
fuller.
said, their confidence is higher, and you're
Yeah.
not spending hours to try to get something simple working. It's just in and out. You look better.
Right.
It makes them want to do more things too.
It does.
If I could add an Apple TV that easy, maybe I could add it on all my other televisions. Maybe I could add a Roku. Maybe I could add shades now. Maybe I could add audio in different rooms that I wasn't planning on doing because it doesn't take so many hours and so much frustration of us being in their homes.
Do you feel that they're more trusting? I feel our clients are a lot more trusting and willing, like, adding a Sonos system. When I'm upselling a client, I always give the customer a call, tell them a new technology's out. Ever since we kind of merged over to Crestron Home and we offered that solution, they're willing on taking my suggestions and put it into bank. They're willing on doing those newer technologies because they know, number one, my labor and programming cost has went down. It had to go down because we're not there as much. And also, they're investing a lot more into technology that I believe in, like 2N, going in, putting in a 2N door station. That would have took me a whole day to do that with programming. Now I'm just clicking a button and it's online. It's done. Those are things that customers have been requesting for a long time that I couldn't meet. Jandy pool control that's coming out. I am so excited about that. If everything else has been so simple, I have a customer that's what they had. That's what they wanted. And now I actually get it to work right.
Right, we usually shied away from something like pool control
Yeah.
because it just felt like I didn't know exactly how to roll it out. Also felt like not such an important feature, but clients have asked about it, and now it'll be simple, just a few buttons and you're done.
Like backnet control. Guys,
Yeah.
how intimidating was backnet control before Crestron Home? I literally would shake like this, and I used to decline the jobs. I wouldn't take them because it was a big investment on both parties. The HVAC guy would have to get involved, you have to get involved. Then, you know what, all that syncing up. I did that a couple weeks ago. I was like, this is how easy it is. I can't believe this. I just wish that Crestron would have developed this 6 years ago because I think I would have been in a different place.
I think though that at the same time we're not. I don't feel at all that my value as a programmer has gone down because these are still things that we need to do. Programmers need to do that. It's not as simple as anybody can do it. I mean, my lower level technicians can do lighting and simple additions like that. But when you start talking about BACnet and Jandy and all these different things that we are integrating with Crestron Home, you still need a programmer's background or some kind of a knowledge on how the stuff works. So I just taken my programming abilities and just focused it on other areas and just changed the way I do my system.